Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum.
Welcome back, Coven, to another episode of the Red Text Podcast. My name is Rai, aka the Mestizo Mystic.
And my name is Voga. I am Voga Illumiscente, and I am so fucking ready for summer to be over. I cannot fucking stand this fucking... I don't know what it is in San Francisco. I know that for a fact that it's not like LA, because San Francisco, I know, is so much more beautiful than here in LA. I know that y'all are really cold, da-da-da-da-da. That's why I always tell Rai we need to switch places, because I cannot do the heat here. I can't stand it. And I can live in 60-degree weather forever. Forever. I don't care. Because like today I couldn't even get myself to wear a wig. Like it was just, I had to put a cunty little bun on because I couldn't put a wig on today. It was just so hot in this room.
It's so funny because we're finally having our heat wave. Like we're finally having our summer, which is like, I don't know, I think the highest it's gotten in the last week is like 75 while sunny, which is
Are you
perfect
joking?
for me. Perfect.
That's a heat wave to you?
I mean, because it's like sunny and it's that temperature. It's a San Francisco heat wave.
That is not a heat wave. A heat wave here in LA is like between like 95 to 100.
That's disgusting.
Awful. It's awful. It's so awful. And I am so like, we're at the time of this recording, we're at the end of August, and excuse me, and the fact that September is in a week, I am just so, I mean, it's still going to be hot through September. That's the thing. LA is so weird because we don't really have seasons. Like we definitely have like hot, cold, and in the middle. But like in the middle, like the perfect like temperature doesn't last very long. It's maybe for like a month out of the entire year. And then like the rest of it is either really, really cold, which I don't mind. I actually really, really like it, or like blazing lava hot, like the devil's asshole hot. Like it's so fucking hot, especially in where I live in LA. It's just not good.
No,
It makes
over
me
80
so,
is too much for me.
and I'm pretty sure I complained this in the last season while we were recording in the summer. I'm pretty sure. And then like, for anyone who's watching the video version of this episode, if y'all can see what my space looks like, it's perpetually nighttime in my bedroom all the time. My curtains, I swear to God, I have 2 layers of curtains over my window. One of them are blackening curtains or darkening curtains, and the ones over those are blackout curtains. Like that's how serious I am of like not getting sun in here. And then like the sides of the curtains are like pinned to the wall. So like no sun is getting into this room ever. Because to me, sun equals heat. So like it's always perpetually dark. And that's why all of my plants died, and I no longer have any plants in this room because there's no sunlight in this room anymore. But for some of you who probably caught on, like maybe a couple episodes before, I invested in my own personal air conditioner that I have in my bedroom, and this thing has been a lifesaver for the last couple of months. I have this set at like 66, and I have it running from like 8 p.m. all the way into like morning time when I wake up, because and like my crypt is like ice cold all the time. Well, it's not ice cold, but it's like comfortable. It's never ice cold.
Did you just call it your crypt?
Yeah.
I mean that makes sense.
Exactly
You're a
what it
vampire
is.
with those blackout curtains.
It's exactly what it is. Like a vampire lives in this room. Like it's, like I said, it's perpetually nighttime. But yeah, this thing has been a lifesaver, because like without this running, even with my blackout curtains and no sun coming into this room, because my window faces west, this room is like 80 degrees at the hottest part of the day. That's so bad. Oh God, I can't stand it. It makes me so sick. Anyways, I'm happy for fall. Y'all, did you see that Starbucks started selling pumpkin spice again?
No, oh my god, this early?
Hyped. I'm hyped. I went to because my usual is the brown sugar shaken espresso. That's like my thing right now. I'm very into that because it tastes like Christmas. It's so delicious. But like I was going through the drive-through of Starbucks and they had like it's pumpkin spice season, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so hyped. I'm so excited for pumpkin spice season. Are you a pumpkin spice girly?
I've never ordered one. I've only ever had like a sip of someone else's.
Oh my god.
Um,
Okay, so
just those
next time.
drinks are so sugary. I can't handle
Oh,
it.
shut up. Okay, listen. Go to Starbucks and don't get the big one. Just get like a grande. And get a chai tea latte with pumpkin syrup and pumpkin foam, and oat milk.
Pumpkin foam?
Mm-hmm. Pumpkin cold foam. It's like foam.
Like, like, like it's like whipped cream.
No, it's milk. It's milked foam, or it's foamed
So
milk.
the milked foam. So the foam tastes like pumpkin spice.
Yeah. You've never had a cappuccino? You ever had foamed milk before?
The only coffee I'd ever order when I go to Starbucks or really almost anywhere is a oat milk latte. That's it. I'm simple. I'm easy.
I think lattes have. Oh, maybe not. They probably don't have foam.
No.
But
Except
foam.
if I go to a Pete's Coffee, then I get
Oh
their
God,
horchata
pizza's
oat milk
so
latte.
good.
Their
Pete's
horchata oat milk latte is so good.
is so good. Pete's is one of the most underrated fucking coffee shops ever. Have you ever been to Phil's? Is there a Phil's in San
Yeah,
Francisco?
it originated in San Francisco. I'll have you know.
Oh, is that what that is? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh my
God,
god.
Phil's
Sorry,
is
my
probably.
dog's playing tug of war with me for the first time. I'm just relishing in this.
She doesn't tug.
She usually
My dog
doesn't
doesn't
like.
tug either.
She oh fuck. No, it's like the first time I've ever seen her do that. Okay. Anyways, I'm back here.
That's all right. I don't get that too because my dog does not tug. He doesn't like to tug. He likes to like pick something up and then like have me chase him, and then he just stops when I catch up to him. I was like, "What do you want me to do?" Like this is not fun.
I'm trying to teach this dog how to play with a ball. Like she's such a chewer. She will chew a toy to shreds. So the fact that she was like just playing tug of war with this toy that she's currently trying to chew and open, it was just really entertaining. And she's strong. She was fucking. I mean, I'm also in a rolling chair, but she was pulling me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I got her breed test results back.
Oh, what is
So,
she?
She's half pit bull, 35% bulldog, and then 15% what Embark calls super mutt. So she has DNA of Chow Chow, German Shepherd, and Australian cattle dog. But
Oh my
she's
God! So
mostly
she's
pit
like
bull
all
and
of the
bulldog.
strong breeds. Like she's all of
Yeah,
like the big breeds. Oh my God!
but it's just so funny because she's so small. She has the face of a pit bull, but like the small body of a
Oh,
bulldog.
oh my goodness, that is so sweet.
She's so smart. I mean, she can also be really stupid, but for like she learns pretty quickly.
Oh, just like her mom. Um. So
Yeah, you're not
so
wrong.
that's how I'm doing. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I have school. I mean, this weekend as of this recording. Um, Also, one of my family's dogs, the dog that lives back with my parents and sister, just recently got diagnosed with skin cancer,
Oh no.
and so we've just been kind of just trying to figure out what to do. We're still waiting for some lab work to come back because if it's spread to any of her other organs, then like there's no
Mhm.
point in doing surgery to remove the tumor.
Yeah.
Like we can just give her quality of life, and chemotherapy is one, way too expensive, and two, just painful for the dog. So
As soon as anything metastasizes, like it's basically a death order. Like it's tough.
yeah,
It's tough.
yeah. So we haven't found out yet whether or not it has metastasized. So we're like fingers crossed, praying that it's just the single tumor. But I
Oh.
started a GoFundMe for my mom for her surgery for our dog Bella's surgery. She's a German Shepherd, which are apparently prone to cancer. And so far, the GoFundMe set at 3K, and it's already met almost half its goal in the last like I don't know 24 hours since I've made it. So I'm like very very grateful that from my friends from school who've donated and my close friends and just everyone who's donated. I'm just
Oh.
extremely appreciative of, or I appreciate and am grateful for.
Yeah, that's really
Um,
tough.
Oh, I'm really excited though. So one good thing, or I'm hoping it's good, I
Hmm.
signed up for a transcendental meditation course. Are you familiar
Right.
with it?
No, you told me you said something briefly about it in the last episode, but please enlighten me.
So I'll give like a little brief background of it because I still am somewhat unclear about it. But I guess transcendental meditation was like popularized by Maharishi Yogi or something like that. And although I have my like criticisms of like I don't think any form of meditation should be hidden behind a paywall, but apparently transcendental meditation is a specific technique that's super simple that works whether or not you believe in it and gets you
Hmm.
deeper like than any other meditation practice, or at least gets you deeper much more quickly than any other meditation practice. And there's been research studies that have shown evidence-based proof that that it's had benefits for people with ADHD. They're using it. I think the government funded like a $1 or $2 billion research to see how transcendental meditation could help veterans with PTSD. What else? It was being taught in prisons. So, anyways, I guess the whole gist of it is that you meet for the first day for 1 to 2 hours with a one-on-one with an instructor who teaches you a secret mantra, and the mantra is specific to you. I think they have like a certain amount of mantras, but like based on like your gender and what you're going through, like they assign you a mantra. You're not allowed to say it out loud. You can't tell anybody this mantra. And
Hmm.
then you use that mantra while meditating, but you're not saying it or chanting it. You're literally just thinking it. And so it sounds like
Mm-hmm.
simple mantra meditation, but like I was scouring Reddit for people's experiences, which like is a mixed bag, but leaning towards positive. And I'm talking to a classmate of mine tomorrow because she started doing it earlier this year. And luckily, they have a discount. So if you're a full time student, whether that's undergrad, graduate school like me, whatever, you can pay a one time fee of 400, and it's a lifetime membership, or like 4 monthly installments. But anyways, my course is starts next week, and so I meet in person one day for 2 hours with my instructor, and then 3 days consecutively after that for group instruction, where we'll practice it together and also learn just more about it together. And then once you learn it, you're supposed to do it twice a day for 20 minutes, 20 minutes each. And so it's like very much like a commitment, but you don't have to change anything about your lifestyle. No, like you don't have to increase exercise, you don't have to change your diet. Like it's literally just learning this technique. And then because it's a lifetime membership, you can get follow-ups and check-ins with instructors like whenever you need. You can go to any center in the world because they have a bunch of centers apparently for any events, whatever. Anyways, I'm super stoked because I've practiced different forms of meditation, but this one claims to be extremely simple and you reap the benefits pretty much instantly. So I am excited because I've been very faulty with my previous meditation practices. So I'm intrigued by this, and we'll see what happens. Some people have said that it's been so intense when they meditate with this technique that like they'll just start crying or develop a migraine, and then other people say like they have the most energy they've ever had and like don't need to use substances anymore. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm going into it
Interesting.
skeptical. I feel like it would benefit you because I know on or was it Chris's episode? No, Spiritual Burnout. We were talking about meditation for a bit, and you were saying that like meditation is just not your thing. So I feel like this
Mm-hmm.
technique, being as quote unquote simple as they say it's supposed to be, would be perfect for you. But I'll report
It
back to
may
you once I
be.
actually experience it.
Yeah, I would love a testimony because I still haven't unlocked that part of my brain yet. Who's that part of the brain that allows me to meditate effectively. Um, but the thing about it is that when we talk about meditation, there's like an actual like formal way to meditate, but there are things that are very meditative that I'm very good at.
Mm-hmm.
Like this may sound really crass, but I don't care. This is the red text. Um, Pooping is very meditative to me. Like sitting on the toilet and pooping is very meditative to me. I come up with like the best solutions when I'm on the toilet or if I'm in the shower. Like
Hmm.
when I'm going through, because it's like a time for me to sit and just fucking think, and it's like quiet time. Or if I'm in the car, like that's something that I tend to be very that where I contemplate, not really meditate, but contemplate. And critical thinking is very effective in those environments for me, like the shower or on top of the toilet or in my car. which is strange because those don't necessarily they're not very related to each other. um, like you're doing very different things in all of those things. But it, I don't know. It's like I know that like meditation is not necessarily time for you to like help you solve problems, but like for me, when I get myself in a space that's really quiet and I can think of all the things that's going on in my life, that's actually the best time for me to like critical think and like problem solve. Like for example, today I was taking a shower and I had this thing in my head where I had to kind of talk myself down from a situation that happened with a friend where I was like bothered by something that he did, and I was trying to I was trying to see if I was like how I was feeling was warranted or was, I don't know, valid in any way. And I was like, I mean it's valid because I felt it, but like um should I be feeling like this still? Like it's been a day. Like isn't it like time for you to get over it? You know what I mean? And so like I sat there and realized that no, it's not. Like I think that was a time for me to like sit and just realize like this isn't worth it. Like this isn't even worth having a conversation about. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things like, should I bring it up? Is this something that I should talk to them about? Because like what they did kind of bothered me. But then I was like, you know what? It's not really, you know, if this starts to look like a pattern, then yeah, maybe that's a really good time to like bring this up. It was like that. It was me like breaking things down and helping me figure out situations that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like deconstructing it.
But like me like sitting and trying to, I can't do it. I mean, I know I can. It's just I don't have the skills or the resources to be able to do it on my own. Like I think I need someone to teach me how to do it appropriately, and I don't have access to that right now. But you know, but doing
that's
something
some self-awareness.
Well, if there's one thing that I am is very self-aware. The thing that I know that I can't do is is cultivate healthy habits, which is a great segue into what we're going to talk about today. This is going to be actually our second revisited episode. We talked about cultivating spiritual habits in our first season, and I thought it was a really great episode because I actually re-listened to it today. Not all of it. I think I got like halfway, and then I got really sick of hearing my prior name, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Because we kept calling each other by our prior names, and I was like, this is a little triggering. I can't do this right now. So like I got halfway, and I was just like, okay. So I hit a little barrier there, which is strange because like when Rye calls me by my prior name, it bothers me, or if like someone else would call me by my prior name, it bothers me. But like my friends or my family, they call me by my prior name, and it doesn't bother me at all. Like
That's funny you say that. That's the same thing for me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all, and it's so weird because I have two we're going into something else now, but that's okay. I have two of my aunties are trans women, and they're my mom's sisters, and my family still calls them by their birth names. That's just they just do, and they're not necessarily like their like birth names, like it's kind of like their nicknames, but it's always been their nicknames since they identified as not women. And that's just something that's always been carried. And I always ask them, I was like, do you ever feel like you want us to call you like their nieces and nephews? We don't call them by that. We call them by Tita, or Tat. One is Carla and one is Tatiana, and we call Tat, and we call Carla Tita. Anyways, that's beside the point. I was like, do you ever feel like you should tell you feel like the family should be calling you by your chosen name? And they're like, they were like, it would feel strange to me if my family called me by my chosen name. I prefer for them to call me by my birth name. It feels right. Which is so strange to me because there are so many other people who are so triggered by their birth name or their given name, and they don't, because it's associated with who they were before and not who they choose to be. I kind of fall into the same thing where it's like the people who've known me as my prior name can choose to call me by either Voga or my prior name. And I don't even call it a dead name. It's not a dead name because people still use that name. When they refer to me, I refer to it as my prior name.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think it's dead. I still identify. I still introduce myself, especially at work. I still use my prior name at work. So it's strange. But then when I was listening to the episode and I was listening to us talk, and like you were calling me by my prior name, I was just like, can't do this.
Yeah, I
You
am.
know?
We should do a whole episode on like gender and identity because that. And I know we had one on queerness last. I almost said last semester. Last season. But I think an episode on gender
Oh,
and just identity would be
no, and
fantastic.
we already have a guest lined up for that episode. So just stay in tune. Just stay tuned for that. We have a very good guest in line for that. A very good friend of ours. She's dangerous, but she's dangerous because she's this is one that you should keep an eye out for. You should stay on the good side of this one. And once we get her on, you'll know who I'm talking about and you'll realize what I'm talking about. All of our friends will be like, oh, I know exactly what she's talking about once we actually get this bitch on the podcast. Anyways, so yeah, we were talking about cultivating spiritual habits and cultivating healthy spiritual habits. And something, when I was listening back on the episode, I was like, a lot of things haven't changed. A lot of things have changed, and I'm really happy about that. But like within the course of maybe a year, things have
Mm-hmm.
changed, but only very small. It shows like the speed of growth sometimes is very slow.
Yeah.
And the blessing of having a podcast is that you can listen back and kind of be like, it's interesting how I thought. Also, right, if you ever get a chance to listen to our old episodes, you should just listen to how like young and eager and like just not jaded we are in those episodes. It's really
Really?
strange. It feels like it was years ago. Like we were like in our you're in your mid 20s, but like it felt like I was like it sounded like I was talking like I was 25 or something. Like it was like I was like energetic and like
What?
all I wanted to do was like talk about this. I mean, yeah, I'm still having fun doing this podcast, but it's just like I'm a little bit more jaded now, especially within
Yeah.
like the magical community. You know what I mean? You should listen to it. We sound like different people. It's strange.
Like
It's
you would say I sound more jaded now than I did in those previous recordings?
100%. 100%. Like
That's hilarious.
I'm definitely more jaded than you are, for
Oh, of
sure.
course.
I think I've always been more jaded than you.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like you can hear in the way that we speak, like we've definitely like slowed down, we've calmed down a little bit, we're a little bit more demure. I think back then we were just it felt so like
What was that word?
demure.
Demure. I feel like I've heard that word before and then never heard it again. So
It's like
what a
it's
great thing to have in your vernacular.
oh, thank you. Demure is like I feel like I'm demure. It's like very soft spoken, very very not very um initially like outgoing. Like that's how
Mm,
I am when I meet new people. I'm just kind of like observing. I'm not very like, I'm not very like balls to the wall. I'm not like Jeff, Jeff, my friend Jeff. Like me and Jeff are like polar opposites. Jeff is a lunatic and I'm demure. That's kind of like the opposites. That's like
got
the
it.
spectrum. Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Yeah, I'm very calm. I'm very, like I said, demure. Franny's are also very demure. Like Franny's personality is that kind of the same. Shy,
Mm,
kind of not shy, but like kind of just reeled back a little bit. Not very aggressive,
yeah.
very soft.
What are some? I did not re-listen to that episode because it's
Yeah.
too hard for me because I just cringe at hearing me speak. And like even when the only time I ever listen to an episode is when I'm editing the ones that we're about to come out with, and even then I'm like, "Fuck, I
Yeah,
said that. I
same.
sound like that."
Same.
So what did you hear from that episode that I can bounce off of or
Okay.
reflect on?
So I don't remember, like I couldn't remember just off the top of my head who said what, but we were talking about the beginning of the episode. We were talking about it's actually really good. This is a really good time for us to actually talk about this because it's like a good segue from our last episode, which was like magical burnout, because we were talking about burnout in our first episode in the spirit the culture cultivating spiritual habits. We were first talking about what the habits were, like what like what spiritual habits we had, which was really interesting because some of those I didn't even think about anymore. Like they're just they're habitual, like they're just
Mm-hmm.
kind of mundane. And I made a really good point where you start doing these things so often that it's not routine anymore, it's just mundane. Like these spiritual things that you do in your everyday routine just become mundane as brushing your teeth. So like you made a point as something as like you wanted to get better at praying the rosary more often. Yeah, I know. I scoffed at that too, because I was just like, I was like, because at the time I was saying, I was like, I want to get better at praying the rosary every day, because at the time I didn't have a very close relationship with the rosary. And so I wanted to be, because like for someone who didn't grow up Catholic, it felt like something that was really kind of tedious, and it felt like a chore, like something I had to get through. um and sometimes that's still how it feels. Like it still feels like that sometimes when I'm praying the rosary, where I'm just like, oh my god, I feel like I'm doing this out of obligation because I feel like I haven't done it in a long time, and I don't feel like a call to do it, even though I should be doing it. I just don't feel like it. And then I said, it's very okay to not want to do something, because we are folk practitioners, and
Yeah.
we kind of have a little bit more freedom in regards to how we practice. I think the only, like, the thing that I would just like add on to it, depending on what your spirits want you to do, you do have a little bit more freedom of what you can or cannot do. It's not like we're ceremonial
Mm-hmm.
magicians where you have to have like some sort of routine and some sort of ritual.
Right.
We're folk magicians, so it's different. We do have a little bit more room to make it, work for us and our lifestyle. Magic is based on need. Also, folk Catholicism is based on need. Um, the one thing that kept also popping up was us getting better at blessing our food. Like that kept popping up. I got better at that. That was easy. I think I just started like habitually just blessing my food more often, and I still forget sometimes, because I was talking about how the reason why I forget is because I don't eat very often. So like when I do eat, I'm starving and I just start eating without thinking about praying. So I've gotten
Okay,
better at blessing
Mariah.
it. Mariah, what was that?
Yeah,
What was
skinny
that?
legend. Mariah Carey.
No, that's the reason why I'm not skinny, because I don't eat enough. Like I don't eat enough throughout the day. I like have one humongous meal and it's usually garbage. So my metabolism doesn't exist.
Mm.
And I'm eating absolute garbage and I'm like scarfing it down. You know what I mean? So my body is
Yeah.
like absolute trash. But yeah, that's like what I remember off the top of my head.
You know, it's funny. I don't bless my food anymore, or at least not in the way of like I was very much. I would say that's a habit I did have since that last episode, where I'd first make a sign of the cross over myself, and then the sign of benediction with the cross over my food. And ever since I mentioned in our last episode of spiritual magical burnout, I've just been feeling this like strange detachment from Catholicism. Not that it's gonna be completely out of my practice, but like it doesn't feel just like, I don't know, I want to say like the word right, like it doesn't feel right, but that doesn't that doesn't feel right. But yeah, I've just been feeling detached from it. So I actually, as of recently, have stopped making the sign of the cross over myself and my food. I did a few times a few weeks ago during my retreat for school, but even since then I don't do it. One thing I am trying to cultivate though is trying to eat more mindfully, which like mindfulness is a form of meditation in and of itself, just being like fully aware in whatever it is you're doing, whether that's eating, drinking something, feeling something, hearing something, whatever. And that in and of itself to me is a spiritual habit, because again, I think I may have talked in that episode from last season of how meditation affects us psychically and spiritually. But yeah, the rosary is just something I never ended up becoming consistent with. And obviously I'll use it with certain spirits. Like if I'm trying to petition Mary for something, I feel like I'll usually include the rosary. Have you heard of the seraphic rosary?
No.
So the seraphic rosary goes by a couple of names. Number one, the seraphic rosary, also known as, I think it's the Franciscan crown. Actually, pause. Let me Google this. Yes. So this rosary is known as the Franciscan crown or the seraphic rosary. and it's basically a rosary but with 7 decades instead of 5. But the mysteries of this rosary are the 7 joys of Mary, which are the Annunciation, the Visitation, the Nativity of Christ, the Adoration of the Magi, the Finding in the Temple, the Resurrection, and then either or both of the Assumption of Mary and the Coronation of her. And the reason I really like this specific rosary is because it comes with some really fucking cool indulgences. And indulgences are like these special graces that come when you do or receive certain things. So with the Seraphic Rosary or the Franciscan Crown, one of the indulgences when you pray it is that you can pray it on behalf of someone who's deceased, and I think it like pretty much expedites their soul to like heaven. Like it basically just is expatriate the right term? I don't know. Yeah, it like expedites their. Hold on, let me Google this because I can't fucking speak right now. Indulgences of the Franciscan Crown. Boom, 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 boom. And like you don't have to meet any special conditions because certain indulgences will only be granted if you went to confession and were forgiven and received communion and whatever. So like there's certain criteria for you to meet to usually get an indulgence. Plenary indulgences specifically, because those are like the highest form you can get.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the the plenary indulgence? Where the fuck is it? Give me 2 seconds to scan this paragraph. Fuck. Okay, whatever. I can't find it right now. Oh, I found it. Hold on. Oh, fuck it. It's not loading. Anyways, you can just Google what the you can just Google the indulgences associated with the Franciscan Crown or Seraphic Rosary. So you would think that I wouldn't want to do it because I could barely keep up with the regular rosary. But I've been having this rosary pop up in my dreams over actually while I was on my retreat in Los Gatos for school. I actually was having some synchronicities while there, and one of them was that I had a dream with Saint Francis, or I'm sorry, with Saint Francis's rosaries, because his order is the one who developed the Seraphic Rosary, aka the Franciscan Crown. And I remember there was just like several Seraphic Rosaries placed in front of me, and I was asking my older brother like which one it was that he got for me, because he did actually gift me a Seraphic Rosary that he brought back from Italy that was touched to the tomb of Saint Francis. So like it holds like significance to me, and I use that when I pray for my ancestors occasionally, because obviously we have so many ancestors, both known and unknown, that if I can gain this indulgence for them, that expedites their soul going to heaven and crossing the other side, whatever that is. I just see that as like super powerful. So I forgot where my train of thought was going with that. I guess just the fact that I never got in the habit of praying the regular rosary, but then it transitioned into using and praying the Seraphic Rosary. So I guess where I was trying to say is like habits like transform and evolve just like we do as practitioners, and sometimes habits will just naturally no longer be a habit, like it'll go and be replaced with something else, or you just might see a shift or change in your certain habits. So maybe like you meditate every day, but suddenly now you're changing the type of meditation you do. I think it's just beautiful how these things can happen when we just allow it to, rather than resisting a habit changing for better, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think something that you need to be really you need to do just in general when you're trying to cultivate any sort of habit, especially spiritual ones, is to be fucking kind to yourself. I think this was a point that we made in the first episode, in the original episode, is that just be gentle on yourself. Like that's like one thing that also brings forth self-awareness, is like you have to be aware of your capabilities. Like what are you realistically able to do? Like at the time, oh, do you want to hear something real? This is another tangent. You want to hear something really interesting? at the time we were recording that, you were going to Portland. You were still dating Kevin when Kevin was in Portland. You were still in like a long distance relationship.
When we recorded the episode?
The original episode. Like you were still in like the eve of your relationship. Like it was still very new.
Damn, it was that long.
It was very, yeah, it was around that. Like you were still like going back and forth between Portland and San Francisco and visiting Kevin, and you were talking about these habits that you were trying to cultivate, and things changed because like look at what happened to your life since that time.
Got it. And you're completely right of how that feels like years ago.
Right, exactly. So like when things like, so it's not really that much of a tangent. If you think about like the perspective that you have, where the person that you were before you actually, but you know, in that episode, this was before your partner was living with you in San Francisco, you were going back and forth between San Francisco and Portland. You're trying to cultivate these spiritual habits, and then your life changed completely within the last year because now your relationship is not long distance anymore. You're living in the same house. Your practice is changing. Your perspective is changing. You know, you have to be really gentle with yourself because you have this expectation that you need to be able to do all of these things when they're not realistic, because things change. Like things change all the time. So it's going to be really, really important for you to just be fucking kind to yourself. Like be nicer to yourself. I think I mentioned it.
Compassion.
Yeah, just have like compassion for yourself, because I think I mentioned it when it came to me doing the rosary every day. Was like, I have to be nicer to myself when I don't fucking do the rosary, like when I forget or like I just choose not to do it. It's like it doesn't make me less of a Catholic. It doesn't make me a bad Catholic because I didn't do the rosary. It just makes me human. So if you, but also at the same time, like I don't want that to be an excuse to be a lazy practitioner.
Right.
You know, I think that there's definitely a there's like a sweet spot when it comes to doing the things that you need to do and not doing the things that you don't want to do. You know, there's something in the middle there that you need to kind of hit.
Well, it makes me think of the self-awareness that I was saying that you have, right? Like without self-awareness, we can't be truly sure, like, am I not doing this habit because I'm being lazy, or am I no longer engaging with it because it no longer fits who I am and what I actually need to move towards, right? Without self-awareness, we might just be not doing something because we're lazy and saying like, oh no, it's like I just, it doesn't feel right anymore, right? But like, are you actually avoiding it because that's true, or are you avoiding it because you're just lazy? Like having that self-awareness on top of that self-compassion, I think is really important to understand why or why not a habit works or doesn't work for you anymore.
Right. I totally agree with you. But also I think it's also this, at the same time, it's like you don't also have to do this alone. You don't have to be by yourself with trying to cultivate these habits, because you can have someone to hold you accountable. Like Ryan and I keep each other accountable all the time. Especially when it comes to not just producing this podcast, but just in general when it comes to our magic. Like at one point, like Rye's practice and my practice were pretty similar. They're not similar anymore. They're very different than what it used to. They've really, like, I feel like we met in the middle. Like we met at a point where we were very, very much the same, and then we just like we just separated. Yeah, we were just like, I'll see you later. I'll meet up with you later. I keep thinking those noises are coming from my side. Is that from you?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just like, I keep thinking that there's like something behind me. But yeah, like our practice has like really shifted so far apart from each other. So like holding each other accountable isn't the same anymore, you know? Because we just don't practice the same way anymore. Like I still do my novenas. I still do my I mean, but it's not as like frequent as I like. For example, like we have Mary's Nativity coming up soon. I'm doing a novena for that. I did a really great Easter was really great for me this year. So like things like that have kind of grown into like my novenas, my devotional work. That shit has really grown a lot, and I'm really happy about that. But things that I really want to work on this year is definitely working on less of my Catholic spirits, but more of like my local land spirits. Something like I want to make that more habitual, because like the last time I went to go visit my local land spirits was probably like 3 months ago, and that's a really long time. And I want to get it to where it's more habitual, where I see them at least once a month. Um, there are these things that I have in my head that I know I want to do, and I just can't get myself to do it because, well, Ryan and I also have different lives outside of magic, outside of the podcast. I mean, the podcast is included. Like, we produce the podcast, I edit the videos, Rye edits the audio. I have, like I said, a full-time job. I'm an editor for a content creator. I am also my own content creator. I'm also a small business owner, so it's like I have all these things stacked up. So like I always tend to like put my spirituality on the back burner, which I shouldn't do, because the reason why
Yeah.
all of these things exist is because of my spirituality. That was gifted to me because of my spirits. So like I'm still trying to find that sweet spot. Like, things have grown, things have developed, things have grown from what they were to what they are now, but I'm still trying to find that balance.
Yeah, it's funny. I thought I'd be like, not that I haven't been productive while unemployed, but like I thought I'd be more productive in the sense of like, I don't know, magic and tarot and things like that. But really, it's like I feel like I've become a housewife of like, yes, I do the cooking, yes, I do the cleaning. Like I just get so caught up every day of like taking care of our animals and making sure my dog gets like an hour-long walk every day. And suddenly it's like 3 o'clock and I need to make food for myself.
Right.
So it's like even I've gotten caught up in these habits of just getting to live since I don't work right now and it's pretty indefinite with that. And now that school started again too, it's like now it's me being a housewife on top of also a student again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which isn't, none of that's an excuse as to why I shouldn't be doing magic. I actually, weren't we talking about simplifying back in the burnout episode?
Yeah.
I just actually simplified my ancestor altar. Like I didn't completely revamp it and strip the cloth, which does need to be washed. Sorry y'all, but like I just had the sudden impulse of like, a lot of this shit on here doesn't need to be here, and it's like on top
Yeah.
of a, it's supposed to be a wine cabinet, but I've turned it into like a magical storage unit. And so I just like took a bunch of shit off their altar that I like had to, decide, does this actually need to be here or can it be removed? And so I stripped a good, like, I don't know, I want to say maybe like 50% of the stuff that was there. And now it's like when I look at it, it doesn't seem as cluttered, and I actually like have been spending more time at
Yeah.
it as of late.
Isn't that crazy? Because now, okay, just to echo what you're talking about is simplifying my practice. I broke down my entire altar. My altar does not look is not even a close reflection of what it used to be. My altar used to be so elaborate and it was so beautiful. It was so aesthetic. My altar, or I don't even call it an altar anymore because that's not what it is anymore. My workspace is now like a multi-functional space now, and it works now because now mostly it's a vanity. Like I use it to put my makeup on, and it's right here. And the biggest part of my workspace is a big old vanity mirror. And then I have my makeup on it on top of it, but I can clear it if I want to do some spell work. I can just kind of like switch it out and like put some candles, and I have like the surface is like a glossy white surface, so I can use like dry erase markers on it, so I can draw sigils on the surface and like put candles on top of it, which I've done, which is really 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 nice, because before it was just full of stuff, and I had to like, I drew like sigils on pieces of paper and then I put it on top, and then I had like these altar cloths, and then like the wax would get on the altar. Like it was just a lot to kind of maintain. And then like I had these like little like mini shelves that are like on the side of my vanity mirror that holds Mary, and then the other side holds Michael, and then I don't know if you can see, but right here you see how small that's Saint Anthony. Look how small his little altar is. See, it's so tiny, and he used to be on the workspace, so it's like really bringing it.
I can see. I didn't realize I could expand your camera.
Oh
I
yeah,
just had
yeah.
it like by the side by side, which makes us see like only each other's faces.
Yeah, so right here, this is my little. Wait, I'm trying to point at it. Where are you? There. It's I can't. It's all like reverse. There. That.
So that space to your right, where that chair is, that's your vanity.
That's my vanity. Yeah, this is my vanity. This is actually this big black thing. That's where all my makeup is. It's like a briefcase of makeup. And then this table is like a glossy white surface, and like this is like a little thing that was actually gifted to me by Franny. Found it at a thrift store. I love this. It's so cute.
Oh, that is super cute. You need to teach me how to do makeup next time I come through.
I would be. Are you kidding? I would love to do that. Why haven't you
Yeah.
ever told me that? I would love to do your makeup. I'd do a full
I don't
beat.
know. I've never done anything more than like foundation and cover up.
I would love to. Oh my god, that would be so beautiful. And then I have like this small altar, protection altar that was made by a friend of mine.
Oh, I think I saw those at Blasphemy.
Yeah, these are by Coma Witch.
Yeah,
they
those
make
are,
these.
Those are cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. And then I have like a little. This is an old prosperity candle that I burnt that it's turned into like a little jar. Franny made this for me.
Oh, hella cute.
And I just keep this on here, and it's filled with cash and a little
Listeners,
charm.
if you want to see everything we're talking about, you just gotta subscribe to our Patreon.
Well, it's gonna be on the YouTube when it's public. But if you want to see it early, subscribe to the Patreon. I made this really, really cute money charm. It's $2 bills sewed together with herbs inside.
Ooh.
And sigils and stuff. It's really cute. I love that, and I keep that in my prosperity jar. And so like it's like it shifts. My workspace shifts, right? And then like above it, you can't see it, but above it is just shelves. That's my apothecary is right above it. Shelves of herbs and oils and stuff. And I've also I'm about to sneeze. Nope. I've also simplified my daily spiritual practice too, where I'm just kind of doing like spiritual passes with oils. Like I have next to my door there, like before I leave, there's like a little pedestal that has a couple of oils that I like to anoint myself with before I leave. I have a bottle of Florida water somewhere that I like to use to just to use before I leave and when I come home. Really simple stuff is when it comes to my magic now. Like I'm not stressing about it anymore, because the reason why it was difficult for me to cultivate good habits is because I made it complicated. I made it harder. There was all these elements that were involved, and I also one of the elements that were involved are these expectations that I needed to do these things all the time, and that's when I failed.
Do you feel that social media had an impact on you, causing you to feel like you had to do
in part
X, Y, and Z?
In part, not because I was a content creator, a content consumer. It's because I was a content creator. So like I felt like I needed to do more to prove myself on the online space.
Interesting.
But then when I calmed down and stopped trying to put magic on my feed and just made my feed more about me, less about my magic, but more about me. Like if you look at my feed within the last year, there's hardly any magic on it. Like I know that there's like one tarot reading on there, and there's like two really, like I think I posted them in November. I did something for All Saints Day, which was really cool. I want to produce more videos like that because I like those reels. Those were dope, but they take a lot of work. But like all of it is like my face and my friends and promos for events. You know what I mean? That's just what my feed has become. But before, when I was so invested in making this like a magical Instagram, like a magic Instagram, which it kind of is, that's where I felt the pressure of needing to create magical content. And I had to realize, like, babes, you are not Olivia, you are not Marshall, you are not these people who have built a platform based on that. That's not what you, like, I just realized that that's not what you do. Like, that's not what you based your platform. That's not how you built your platform. Your platform was on your queerness, is on the growth of your growth as a queer practitioner, and your business. Like that's what it was. That's how I grew my business, and my brand. Like that's a big part of my brand, was just what I do. And then, obviously all of those things involve magic. So like it kind of inherently involved, and I just stopped caring so much. Like I just stopped caring about the content I made, and I just posted the things that I thought were cool. And it just made it so much easier on me to practice privately, like silently, because I knew that I didn't have to think about also posting, because if I was going to post a spell, I knew that I was going to have to do the spell and then film a demonstration, like not film me actually doing the spell, but actually like redo the spell, but not actually doing the spell. You know what I mean? It's like I always have to think about that in my head. I was like, okay, so you're gonna do the spell, you're gonna have to do it again. And that just like it snowballed. I was like, okay, so, and then I never created anything because I was just like, this is getting too hard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I love that you mentioned doing the passes and stuff with oils, because one habit that I used to do a lot in my practice that I had learned through City Alchemist when I took their Santísima Muerte courses was the spiritual passes with Florida water. That was something I did religiously, no pun intended, like morning, evening, and night. And that's something I don't really do as much anymore. I'm slowly picking it back up, but what I have been doing a lot lately in recent months has been anointing myself with oils, mainly my holy anointing oil that I've got off Etsy, that I've also infused with Hoodoo Moses' ancestral courage powder. And then I have, what other oils do I do? I also have Hoodoo Moses' Archangel Michael anointing oil. I have your Divine Mother oil that you made that
Oh
I absolutely
God,
love.
I love that oil.
I have
Like I'm not
Franny
even
Santa
trying. I'm not
Muerte
even trying to
oil.
blow smoke up my own fucking ass. But that oil is incredible. I have a bottle of it, and I'm trying not to use it because I love it so fucking much. It's so good.
Why can't you just make more?
Because the base I don't make. The base Franny makes.
Oh,
I make the rest. Franny knows how to make. Like Franny does this whole thing with herbs and in incantation that I don't know yet. So Franny makes all the bases of all the oils, but I just for the Divine Mother. Divine Mother is the only oil that I craft after the base is done. Everything else Franny makes, but the Divine Mother, she didn't know how to make that, so I made it. But that is that. I really do love that oil. I really,
it's so fragrant. Love it.
It is very fragrant.
But yeah, there's other oils like if anyone wants like a fantastic Catholic or full Catholic oil to use, there's a Etsy store called DNJC. Don't know what that stands for. I don't care. But they sell a bunch of third class relics, both like medals, sometimes rosaries, and saint medals, rosaries. But they what they're really popular for is their holy Exodus anointing oil, which is based off of the recipe given in the book of Exodus for anointing oil. But it's so fragrant, so I'm pretty sure they use essential oils because I made it from scratch with the actual like constituent ingredients, and it does not smell fragrant at all. It just smells like olive oil. But I do like theirs because it's fragrant, but it's also been touched to over 100+ different relics, like first class relics of different saints, including Mary and Jesus. And but like I said, I infused that with Hoodoo Moses' ancestral courage powder, because again, I see saints as ancestors, but also, you know, my personal ancestors. So now fuck, I try to anoint myself with that oil every day, but I also keep a small vial of it on my person all the time, because sometimes I just feel like I need that boost, like just strength, courage, whatever it is, calling upon my ancestors. I've shared it with classmates before. And so again, just an example of how my habit of doing Florida water passes, you know, day, evening, and night, transformed into now anointing myself with an oil. And not to say you can't do both, but you know, my focus has shifted in what I've been sort of drawn and called to do as a pass or as an anointing.
Yeah. I want to mention something too. If any of you listening enjoy keeping money in your bank account, don't become friends with Rye, because she likes to like go to this store and buy this, go to this store and buy this, look at this ring, oh my god, look at this blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, babe, I'm on a fixed income. Please stop sending me things that because you'll send me, because you know I'm a fucking slut for jewelry. Stop sending me shit for jewelry. It kills me every single time knowing that I can't have it. It kills me. And most of the jewelry that I get are like from small vendors. I was like, okay, this is coming from an Etsy shop. Like, stop. I can't do it anymore.
But it's so cute.
I know. Like, I remember when she first sent me the link to this, and I was just like, this I wanted the bigger one. I was like, I can't, this is the biggest one they had. I was like, I want the bigger one. I can't get the smaller one. I have to get the most expensive one.
Did I send you the Guadalupe ring that I want to get?
What did I just say?
Hold on, I'm gonna send it to you.
god, I hate you. It's Rye is the most. It's the.
I'm a material girl.
She loves her stuff, and I'm just like, I love my stuff too. Like I really really do love it. But she'll go to this shop, go to this shop. This shop is so cute. Look how cute these earrings are. I was like, fuck, god damn it, you kill me every single time. Are you gonna text it to me?
Yeah, I'm going through my Etsy favorites right now because it's here somewhere.
It's probably yeah. I was like, you're probably gonna have to scroll for a while, I'm sure.
First of all, fuck you. It's coming. I can feel it.
Oh.
Fucking, where are you, Guadalupe? I sent you that wooden Guadalupe altar box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stunning. I still want it very badly. I also kind of want to make my own out of like an Altoid tin. Also for Santa Muerte. Just like to have like a pocket altar. Here she is. Oh, there's two that I favorited side by side. Perfect. I'm going to text it to you right fucking now. Do it. Okay, the first one I sent you I like more, but these are the two that I have favorited.
I'm not gonna lie to you, this mug is fucking on point tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually didn't fuck up my eyeliner today, so. Okay, hang on. Nope, I still didn't get it. Oh, there it
It
is.
says delivered.
I see it. Yeah, that's very pretty.
And part of the reason I want that is because I don't know.
Oh, did you see this? Our Lady of Guadalupe singlet ring for men. Ew.
I know. But part of the reason I want it is like I think the miraculous metal ring is stunning. It's gorgeous. I love it. But like when I look at Mary now, I don't really feel like I've really been praying to or focusing on any other version of Mary other than Guadalupe, who I also see as her dual side of like Don Unseen, like, you know, the goddess of the earth. So I feel like it's time to decommission this Marian ring. And wait, when did we do our consecration? 2021?
I never did it. You did.
When was that? 2021? Yeah, that wasn't last year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh damn! So it's almost, oh my god, it's almost been 2 years. Yeah, it's time to get a new ring.
Let me actually. This kind of now that you brought it up, and this kind of goes into habits because, like, you know, spending habits. And also like a little bit into like materialism. When it comes to things that you don't necessarily resonate with, and you giving things away, because I know you've given stuff away, that you use. Like, what's your process?
I'm trying to think of what I have given away.
I know that you when I was in San Francisco, you gave Shane a statue.
Oh yeah, Santa Muerte statue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that statue was gorgeous. I got it from the Botanica de Santa Muerte in Los Angeles.
That was really beautiful.
It was huge. It was
it was humongous.
It was 2 to 3 feet tall.
It was like 2 feet tall. And we got back to Shane's apartment. Shane was like, "Where the fuck am I putting this?" Because she was like,
"It's a Siete Colores Santa Muerte." Oh, if people don't know, like, you can scroll back on my Instagram page. It's way back, but it's a Siete Colores, 7 color Santa Muerte with these giant glittery golden angel wings, and she's holding this beautiful cornucopia with money overflowing out of it, and it has a ginormous fucking carga on the bottom of it. And a carga is it includes resin as well as other artifacts that, like,
it was like this thick. It was like
huge. It's fucking huge. But yeah, I gave that to Shane because I had put her on an altar that I was intending to make like a prosperity altar, and I loved it. I loved seeing it. I didn't really do much workings at it, if ever, really, and I just felt like I was starting to neglect that statue, so I just felt like it could go to a better home. And obviously Shane is one of my closest friends and lives here in the city with me, so I offered it to them before I, like, you know, gave it to anyone else, and they accepted it, and so now she has it. But there was no like ritual. You do that, no, there was no like ritual like decommissioning or anything of it. I think I like I may have spoken to her or that specific statue and just been like, like, hey, like, gonna give you to a
Okay,
different home. I'm not really feeling
interesting.
like too much is going on here. As for
Hmm.
other stuff I've given away, I have a shit memory, so I can't think right now. But I know I gave you a bunch of stuff, but those were things that I bought specifically
Yeah,
for
no,
you.
those weren't things that you actually worked with.
Or like I had this giant batch of an oil. It was one of my first oils I ever made back in 2021. I think it was a New Moon and Aries oil.
Yeah, I still have
And
it.
yeah, I never sold it, but like I gave a bunch of vials of it to or dropper bottlefuls of it to classmates in my cohort and to like friends of mine because originally I was gonna sell it, but it never came to be, and it was just sitting on my shelf forever. And I'm like, this has given me great results. I've gotten great feedback from those that I've given it to. So fuck it, I'm just gonna share the wealth and like give this out to people because that's what I felt called to do. But as for like any like specific things I do before I give stuff out, it really depends on what it is that I'm giving out. Like obviously
Mm,
something like the Santa Muerte statue is like an ensouled effigy of her in a sense, and
right.
so like that I obviously communicated with, as opposed to like a product that I made. Even though it's a spiritual product, I just felt called to like kind of just you know be graceful with it and just give it out for free. um
Right.
yeah, do you have you
I was just
do you do
curious.
that, or like do
No,
you
I
have
haven't
a
given
thing
anything
you do?
away. No, I haven't given anything away, like anything that has like something that was ensouled, like a statue or anything like that, or like a poppet or a fetish. I haven't given anything away yet. I was just curious because I've never done it, so I didn't know what the process would. I would assume that it would be some sort of. I would ask permission first, and then I guess like what you said, like decommission it in some way, like you're no longer connected to me or whatever, and then like this
Mm-hmm.
is like, and maybe like an introduction into like whoever you're giving it to, because Franny has given uh a statue away as well to one of our good friends, Joaquin, who is Adrian's partner, um who has recently started, not recently, but has cultivated a relationship with something within, like at the same time like was getting really close to Franny, and Franny was like, I think this is a really good sign for me to like give you this because she's done really good things for me, all this stuff. So I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
curious. I was just curious as to like, because I know there are times where I'm just like hoarding a whole bunch of stuff where I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like I have a besom that's hanging on my wall that I don't even use anymore as for spiritual sweeps, because my spiritual sweeps literally is just me sweeping. Like I don't even have to pull my besom off the wall anymore. I just use a broom, you know. So so it's like it's just cute now. It's just like hanging on my on my wall cute, but like there's a spirit there that I've used before that I just don't work with anymore. I for some reason in my head I feel like I can't give it away. Um I don't know. That was just a passing thought. I was just curious, but it kind of
Yeah, I
goes
mean,
into like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, there's a difference between hoarding shit and like knowing when it's time to like part ways with something.
Mm-hmm.
So like obviously if it doesn't feel like it's time to part ways with your besom, and you also are aware that like you're not just hoarding it to keep it, like I think that's a sign that like it's not meant to leave you or your practice yet.
No,
Or
it's
if it
still
is, maybe
no, it's
you
still
know.
there. It's still hanging there, with the bristles up to keep spirits away. So I think it's still doing a job. Um, so yeah, I have it hanging with the bristles facing the ceiling so that it kind of just like wards away spirits right over my altar. Um, I think it's still doing something. I just don't do spiritual sweets with it anymore. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my wand that I made. Well, I made that. Like I can't. Like I don't want to get rid of that. That's made from oak. I found an oak branch outside, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get rid of that. But yeah. Anyways, anything else?
No, I think just recapping the importance of like giving yourself compassion, and know that like if a habit's coming to an end, maybe that's for a reason, but also to garner enough self-awareness to know whether or not you're actually just being lazy, or if it's just a time for a habit to shift, change, or just altogether be tossed out the window. um like just be compassionate with yourself and be patient. You mentioned being slow and taking time, and like habits take time to form, and sometimes it also take time to dissipate.
Yeah, I mean, y'all, I'm telling you. Oh, well, you know what? I can give you an exact date from when that episode was published. Let's see. That
It was
episode
April
was
18th
April 18th. So it's
of last
been
year.
well over a year. And that was probably a month. We probably recorded that a month before it was actually published. So it's been well over a year.
Year and a half, basically.
And our habits, you can see that we have grown, but we have grown very slowly. So it's like knowing that kind of gives me a little bit of comfort, knowing it's like, when things aren't happening as fast as I want them to be, it's because they're not supposed to. They're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to go slower. You're supposed to just kind of wait for things to grow on their own. Just keep doing the things that you think that you need to do, and sometimes the things that you think you need to do aren't the things that you should be doing, and you change.
Yeah.
So that gives me a little bit of comfort.
Yeah.
It
I
makes
mean,
me
in
a
the
little
grand
bit.
scheme of things, makes you feel what?
It just makes me feel because I'm very impatient. So like knowing that I have to wait for things makes me kind of
Mm-hmm.
anxious, but I also kind of have to learn how to be patient with myself.
Totally. And it's just funny you say like a year is slow, because to me like a year is nothing. And so it's just like the context of what one can consider a year to be. Like obviously if you're told you have a year left to live, like that's no time at all. But if it's like a year to when you think of like, oh, I have to cultivate this habit and keep it consistent over the course of a year sounds like forever.
Right. Well, because I think it's, yeah, like what you said, I think it's both. I think it's both depending on the perspective and like what you think, depending on what you're doing. Like learning a new skill,
Yeah.
and it taking a year for you to learn a new skill, that's a long fucking time. But like what you said, is like if you only have a year to live, like that's a year, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it really does depend. But
Like
yeah,
I think when I had that habit of praying the rosary daily, I don't think I ever saw myself falling out of it, and now here I am, honestly not even praying it once a week anymore. So shit changes.
she's gonna start worshiping demons. She's gonna start conjuring demons. I swear to fucking god. It's like I fucking told you so. This, and then you start um like in the woods with the lesser key. There's like fuck,
No,
I knew
girl,
it.
I'm just becoming Buddhist now. That's how I'm changing.
Yeah, that's exactly, I mean, it's, everything is going to shift. That's just how it is. And it's who knows, maybe the theme of this podcast might shift. We don't know. Maybe at one point, I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen for me, because right now I'm very, very invested in my Catholic, but who knows, maybe this just, it won't, even just the theme of this podcast might change. We probably,
Yeah.
we don't know. We'll see. We'll check in a year and see what happens. Who knows? Rye might hate me in a year and be like, you know what? I'm sick of.
Be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked either. I give you enough reasons to hate me for sure. But yeah, I would. Oh my god, I would kill to do your faith. Next time we're in the same room again, that would be so much fun to do your faith. Because you know what? I want to do Franny's face so bad. I want to do Franny's face. I want to make her so pretty because she doesn't know how to do it herself. So like, I want to make her so pretty, but she doesn't like getting glammed up. She thinks it's a waste of time.
Boo.
I know.
I've just never done it because I don't know how, and I haven't put the time into cultivating a habit of learning how to do makeup.
Well, like to what extent do you want to do makeup?
I don't know.
To me,
I don't know because I've never done it. I don't know.
What do you want to look like?
I don't know. Pretty? I mean, I'm already pretty, but even prettier.
Oh my god, it's like talking to Francisco. Like, I am so pretty. I was like, can I put some bronzer on your face? So I started putting bronzer on her face. And she looked in the mirror. She goes, God, I'm so pretty. I was like, you're fucking welcome. I put bronzer on your face because you look like a fucking corpse. And I was just like, I'm just going to put bronzer on your face because I needed some color. And she goes, I know, but it helps that I'm pretty. I was like, bitch, just say thank you. My God, it's like pulling teeth. Anyways, everyone, if you have not, you're listening to this episode and you still haven't subscribed to the Patreon, I don't know what the hell you're doing, because you're missing all of the extra stuff. Please, if you feel inclined to support these two queers, we really appreciate anyone's support. It goes a long way in producing this podcast and also our lifestyle. It could cost a cup of coffee a month. The lowest tier we have is $5 to support us, to support the podcast, and you get some small benefits along the way, which includes
Crude.
which includes a monthly rosary circle, which is incredible. Early access videos to our podcast, and some bonus episodes and post shows, which we really enjoy recording and producing for you guys whenever we possibly can. We do our best to be as consistent as possible, but life happens sometimes, and sometimes we're not that consistent, but we stay as consistent as we possibly can. So if you haven't already joined, please join the Patreon. It is the red text. No, I'm sorry. It's patreon.com/the red text. And with that said, my name is Voga, and I'm Voga Lumicente on Instagram.
And I am Rai, aka the Mestizo Mystic, on Instagram.
And we will see you next time on our. Oh, guy! But before I do did you? Trump was arrested. I love that.
Oh
that
my
was
god,
fun.
yes.
Trump was arrested and oh god, that mugshot was so yummy. That mugshot was one of the yummiest things I've seen. Anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there.
I love that he still showed up to jail in a suit, though.
I mean, what do you expect? But that look on his face, it was so good. It was so good. I love that look. It was like, it's
Yeah.
so.
It's like,
he looks,
I got caught.
Oh god, he looks so dumb. I can't do it because I look really pretty right now. But like, he looks so dumb. But anyways, Trump got arrested. If y'all haven't seen the mugshot, please look it up. It's hilarious. It is so funny. But yeah, we will see you next time on our next Unholy Communion. Bye.